Hello and welcome back. I'm going to give you a quick update today concerning my um, progress on um, traveling without my state issued documents. Okay, they call that traveling in private. And normally, we've been taught, and we're 17. We rush out to get our driving permit, and we get our driver's license, and what that does, it puts you under the jurisdiction of the state. And the transportation is a regulated industry. Okay, but it's really only regulated if you're on a commercial capacity, you're a trucker, or you're for hire, you're a taxi driver or an Uber. And so the Supreme Court has already ruled, and so there's several cases at state level and federal level uh, that declare that we have a God-given right to travel, and that comes from Genesis 1:26, Genesis 1:26 through 30. And so, really, we've been duped because most people aren't in commerce and they're not for hire. So we've been kind of duped into uh, coming under the authority, and that authority is really not very pleasant. It's a way to control, manipulation, to gain revenue, um, because really the way the law should be working, common law, there's no crime unless you create a victim, uh, either by personal injury, you run over somebody, or property damage. You run over somebody's mailbox, or you commit fraud. That's really the only time there's a crime. If you're not bothering anybody, you haven't caused anybody any harm, there's no crime. There really should be no, um, interaction with the um, law enforcement. Okay, but the way our common law has been kind of subverted, and we're in this kind of Roman civil law. We're really, the state legislatures, they make everything a crime. Look at, speed limits, and you can't use your cell phone, and you know, you know, just it's just ridiculous. Everything's a crime. Um, Even though there's no victim, there's no injury to anybody. It's all a way to stop. You watch some of these First Amendment audit videos, or like the most ridiculous thing. Your window tint is too dark. That's a crime. And the next thing you know, they're smashing the guys. The police are smashing the guy's window, to dragging him out of the car, and now, or it's resisting arrest. Anything to get the guy in jail. To jack up the revenue. And so anyway, that's where we're at. Made a conscious decision to remove myself from the that system. That's that system of control, and it's voluntary. You don't have to do it, but you have to know your rights. If you don't know your rights, you don't have rights. So you're going to have to demand your rights, and it's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be easy. But if you want your liberty, and you're worried about the liberty of your children and the people that come behind you, we have to make a stand and put an end to this craziness. So anyway, where I'm at is on October 2nd. I've already picked a day. October 2nd, I am planning on voluntarily surrendering my state-issued driver's license. And that driver's license is actually a contract, and it's evidence of contract that I am obligated, and I have agreed to follow all the transportation codes. Okay, and that, the tags for the vehicle, and I have to have liability insurance, and like I said, the window tint can only be so dark, and you can't do this and you can't do that. Okay? That's what you've agreed to when you go get the license, the contract. Well, I'm planning on breaking that contract in about 2 weeks. Okay? And so I have a letter. It's a lawful notice to my state. It's 3 pages, and it's notarized with a thumbprint in my lowercase name, not the corporate, not the fictitious name. Because if you look at your driver's license that the state gives you, the name is in all capital letters. Okay? That's fraud. That's fraud. That's not your name. If you go to your certificate of live birth, your name's not in all capital letters, but the designation of your all caps name, that's your straw man. They've created a fiction. These crooks in the government, they created basically a mirror of you, a double. And the reason why is because a corporation can only contract with another corporation. A corporation cannot contract with a living person. So what they've done is they've made you a corporation with that all caps name. And that's how they can just bleed you dry with all these fees and demands and tickets and all this craziness. Okay? So I have the letter. It's already notarized. I got a thumbprint. It's already signed. And I noticed, and I'm going to be using my passport card. I have an updated passport, not the book. I have the book, but I also have a card, and it has my, a different number, passport card number, and I'm going to be using that for identification. That's from the State Department. I also went online and got an ID. I made it another ID. It's a national ID because I'm not a U.S. citizen anymore. I'm basically a foreign national. And so I made my own ID with a lowercase name. It has my photo on it, and has a couple of other identifiers on it. And that's going to be I'm going to be using that for my basically my ID. And also, if you look over my shoulder, there's several different tags that I have an option of using because I'm also going to be returning my tag on October 2nd. And most likely going to be starting off with this tag. And basically that 4060032 is my US DOT number. Okay? I have a DOT number, and I also have my private conveyance, my pickup truck, in a trust, a charitable religious trust. The private property is no longer in my personal name; it's in a trust name. I have a DOT number that shows me as a private carrier. I'm not in commerce. I have a DOT number in 2 or 3 inch reflective letters that's going to go on the back of my tailgate, and that's what I'm going to be using for, quote unquote, my tag. Okay, it's a private tag. I'm not going to be having the state issued driver's license. There's not going to be any contract. Okay, so what that's going to do is a no driver's license means there's no contract, and that means the police, the law enforcement folks, they have no cause of action against me because I'm no longer agreeing to obey all these codes that they have. Okay, and they're going to test me, of course. Yes, absolutely. They're going to try to drag me back into their jurisdiction. They don't need jurisdiction over me anymore, unless I hurt somebody or I cause some property damage. They got to leave me alone. Also, I've also canceled my auto liability on also the same day, October 2nd, because you have a God-given right to an unlimited right to contract or not. You can't be compelled to have to make a contract, no matter what it is. And so in this case, it's going to be auto insurance. Now, of course, if I cause somebody damage, I'm going to have to make restitution. I'm going to have to make somebody whole. But I'm basically taking that responsibility, upon myself. Okay, I'm going to self-regulate, and so yeah, we're going to have some fun, and that's what the course I was taking. George Gordon, Common Law School. He's passed away, but he in the 1980s he traveled in Idaho with no tag, no license, and no insurance, and he was arrested or cited 35 times, and he took him. He showed up to court, and he battled the whoever, the traffic court, whoever, the judges, prosecutor, whoever they were throwing at him. He went in there and defended himself. He didn't use the bar attorney, an attorney. They're actually agents of the court. They're not going to be there to defend your rights. They're not interested in defending rights. They're gonna, they're gonna get a, they're gonna work on a plea deal. That's what they want to do. And so you're really going to have to go in there in person, and you're going to have to know some common law, and you're going to have to defend yourself. But anyway, George won all 35 cases. He was 35-0. He beat him every single time, and they finally gave up trying to drag him into their commercial maritime law, where everything is a crime, okay? And he went in there, as a free man, common law, and God's law, and he was very successful. Also on my windshield, I'll be displaying a peace flag on the driver's side window. And also I covered up my VIN, I covered my VIN number up. And I also have a decal. And if you look at that UCC 9109, okay, what that says, the definition of I forget what they call it. It's a personal good. It's something for as household use. It's not something in commerce. Okay, it's a consumer good, they call it. And so that's primarily something for your household, consumer good. And there's a case, Bank of Boston versus Jones, and it was decided that your personal automobile, your private conveyance, is a personal good, consumer good, and it's not the type that needs to be registered. Okay, so you have all these court cases, saying that unless you're in commerce, you're free to travel. You don't need this you don't need this oversight. You don't need permission from the state to go from A to B. Okay, and so we're going to challenge them. We're going to have some fun. And like George would say, if you're not having fun at this, you're not doing it right. Yeah, we're going to be poking the bear. It's going to poke the bear. Yeah, we're going to have fun. I'm going to have my cameras going, and I also have a fee schedule. I've also sent all my local law enforcement folks, including the state attorney general and really the DA and all the state police, sheriff, local police. And I've sent them 3 notices that I'm going to be doing this. And I also sent them a schedule of what it's going to cost them if they violate me. It's a self-executing contract. It's a fee schedule. And typically where they're going to violate is going to be section Title 18, Section 241, and Section 242. And that's going to be deprivation of rights under color of law. Okay, these fake statutes that they're going to be trying to beat you over the head with, those aren't really, they're not going to apply to a living man, a common law jurisdiction person. Okay, so that's where they're going to get in trouble. And the other one is conspiracy against rights. So if there's multiple officers there, and they're coming against you, and they're trying to break your window and drag you out of the car and assault you and all this craziness because you want to stand up for your rights. Those fees are $100,000 per occurrence. Okay, and there's a whole laundry list of what the fees are going to be. Like I said, it'll be a self-executing contract, And so if they violate me, I'm just going to send an invoice. It's they've already agreed to it, and that's what the verbiage says that I've sent them. It's notarized. I've already given them notice. This is what I'm going to be doing. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing mysterious about it. And if you don't, and that's what the verbiage says. Look, if you don't want to pay this money, you better not violate me, because I'm going to be coming after you. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. We're about 2 weeks away or so, and so that's the update. I'm going to be doing this on that Monday, October 2nd. I'm going to have all kind of cameras in my car. I'll take some photo. I'll take some video. Maybe the DMV, switching the tags and whatnot. I'll put it up here. But that's where we're at. It's going to get exciting. It's going to get rubber to the road here. It's going to get crazy probably. And I'm in a kind of a red state, dark red, military town. So we'll see. I'm not like I'm in New York State or Illinois or LA. I'm not in one of these, crazy woke states where they're, really, very anti-liberty, we could say. So we'll see. I'm not going to be in probably tremendous pressure, but I'm sure there's going to be some pushback. Let's see how this goes. Thanks for watching. Bye now.